You keep replaying the good parts because they were real. And that's what makes this so hard. Not the bad parts, the good parts. The way he looked at you when you were talking. The way his hand stayed on your back a second longer. The way he called you baby, like it slipped out by accident. The way he sounded soft late at night, like he finally stopped pretending. And then the next day, he's a different man. Not rude, not cruel, just thinner, short replies, long gaps, that "I've been busy" tone that makes you feel like you're asking for too much just by existing. So you do the thing you hate. You go back. You reread the messages where he sounded warm. You replay the voice note where he laughed like he actually liked you. You stare at your last text and wonder if it was too much, too needy, too fast, too honest. And that's where the trap starts. Your brain keeps using the good parts as proof. Proof that you didn't imagine it. Proof that he's capable. Proof that the cold version can't be the real one because you've met the warm one. You tell yourself, he wouldn't have said that if he didn't mean it. He wouldn't have opened up like that if he didn't feel something. And you're not making excuses for him. You're trying to make sense of the switch. It's late. You're in bed. You check his last active. Then you check again. Then you put the phone face down and pretend you're not waiting. But your ears still listen for the buzz. From the outside, it looks small. Just a man taking longer to reply. Just one plan that didn't happen. Just, he's busy. But inside, it feels like you're losing something you didn't even get to fully have. Because you're not grieving a relationship. You're grieving a moment. A version of him. And a version of you, too. That's why the thumbnail hits so hard. You missed the pattern. Because it's not that you missed the warning signs. It's that the good parts made you ignore what kept happening. He didn't have to be consistent to keep you attached. He only had to be convincing sometimes. And those sometimes moments, they're the ones you keep replaying. Because in those moments, he felt like the answer. And now you're sitting with the silence, trying to understand how the same man can feel so close one night and feel like a stranger the next morning. And that's where most women get stuck. Not in the silence, in the memory. Because the good parts don't feel like maybe. They feel like a moment that finally told the truth. It wasn't just that he texted first. It was how he texted. Full sentences. Little details. That random, "Did you get home okay?" that made your chest unclench. It wasn't just that he wanted to see you. It was how he looked when he saw you. Like he'd been waiting for you. So of course you thought it meant something. You didn't hear, "This is temporary." You heard, "Okay, he's here now." You didn't hear, "I'm in a mood." You heard, "He feels it too." And you start building a story without meaning to. You tell yourself he's guarded. You tell yourself the feelings are real and they scare him. You make the inconsistency sound romantic, because if it didn't mean something, then what were you doing letting your guard down while he spoke like he cared? So you attach meaning to the details. The forehead kiss becomes proof. The long hug becomes proof. That one night he stayed on the phone becomes proof. And when he pulls back, you don't throw the story away. You protect it. You say, "He's stressed. Work is a lot right now. He's probably just tired." Because the truth is, you don't even want to confront him. You want to go back to the version of him you met in the good parts. So you start doing quiet little things to bring him back. You wait longer to reply. You type something honest, then delete it. You send something light instead. Because asking for anything feels like it might scare him off. And you can't handle losing him completely. Not when you've already seen what he can be. You start treating the warm version like the real one, and you treat the cold version like a phase you just have to survive. That's the part you don't say out loud. You start enduring the bad parts just to earn another hit of the good parts, because you're not chasing him for nothing. You're chasing the moment that made you feel chosen. So when the pattern shows up again, you don't think, he's inconsistent. You think, I must have done something to change the mood. That's why the thumb line is so brutal. You missed the pattern because you weren't watching his behavior over time. You were watching the highlights, and the highlights made you believe the rest of it would eventually match. And this is where it shifts, because the version of him you met in the good parts might have been real. But real in the moment isn't the same as able to stay. A man can mean it while he's saying it, and still not have it in him to live like that the next day. Those late-night talks are easy for a certain kind of man. He can sound deep because nothing is being asked of him except words. He can say, I miss you, because missing you is a feeling, not a plan. But morning brings reality. Morning brings follow-through. Morning brings the part where his words would have to turn into a pattern. And that's when he starts pulling back. Not because you suddenly did something wrong, because the closeness did something to him. It made the moment cost him something. When he's warm with you, it feels good. But it also tells him, now you're in this. Now he can't act like he doesn't care. Now his choices matter. Now you're going to expect consistency. And now he has to face whether he can show up the same way on a random Tuesday as he did late at night. And he wants the warm part without the weight that comes with it. So he tries to reset things. He answers, but later. He likes your story, but doesn't make a plan. He says he wants to see you, but it stays vague. He gives you just enough to keep the door open, but not enough to feel secure. And you can feel it. You feel it when he takes 6 hours to answer a normal text. You feel it when one normal question suddenly seems like too much. It's like he wants you close, as long as you don't start acting like you belong there. He likes what you give him. He likes how you make him feel. He likes being wanted without having to be responsible for what he starts. So he keeps you in the in-between. If he stays too close, he feels responsible. If he disappears completely, he loses access. So he keeps you in the middle. That's why those good moments keep coming back. They aren't random. They're timed. He feels you slipping, so he reaches. He feels you quiet, so he checks in. He feels the door closing, so he gives you a glimpse of the man you want him to be. And the reason it works is because that glimpse feels like proof. It feels like the real him returning. But what's really happening is simpler. He can do intensity. He struggles with consistency. He can do the rush. He struggles with the routine. And once you see that, you stop treating his warm moments like a promise. A moment he could afford, not a life he was ready to live. And if you're honest, you've felt this part in your body. Not as a thought, as a shift. Because after enough of that back and forth, you stop living normally. You start living around him. You wake up and check your phone before you fully open your eyes. You tell yourself you're checking the time, but you're looking for his name. You're making coffee and your phone buzzes, your chest jumps, and the second you see it's not him, you feel this drop. Then you get mad at yourself, because you hate that he still has that kind of access to your mood. That's what inconsistency does. It makes the smallest thing feel like it means everything. One short "hey" from him can turn your whole day around. One dry reply can ruin your appetite. So you don't explain it. You manage it. You start editing yourself. You don't text when you actually want to. You wait instead. You rewrite a simple sentence 5 times, trying to make it sound lighter. You add LOL even when nothing is funny, just to make yourself seem easy to handle. And the crazy part is, you start calling that being chill. But really, you're scared of the shift. Because you've learned how fast warmth can turn into distance. So you start trying to behave in a way that keeps him warm. You stop asking for clarity. You stop saying what you actually need. You stop bringing up the thing you're pretending doesn't hurt. You act like you're fine. Then you go home and replay everything anyway. You replay whether he meant it when he said, "We'll hang soon." You replay the silence after your last message. And you start doing quiet math in your head. If he texts tonight, it means he still cares. If he doesn't, it means he's fading. If he watches your story, it means he's thinking about you. You turn into someone you don't recognize. Not because you're desperate, because nothing is stable. And slowly, you lose trust in your own judgment. A sweet moment can make you ignore a cold week. A good night can make you forgive a bad month. And you start lowering your standards without admitting it. You tell yourself, "I'm not asking for much." But you are. You're asking for basic consistency. And somehow, you've been trained to feel guilty for wanting that. And here's the saddest part. You don't even miss him the most. You miss who you were when he was warm. You miss the version of you that didn't need one small sign from him to feel okay. Because his inconsistency didn't just confuse you about him. It started changing you. It made you quieter. It made you easier. It made you hesitate before being honest. And once you notice that, you can't unsee it. And this is the part that finally makes it quiet inside you. Not because it feels good, because it feels clear. You didn't keep replaying the good parts because you're addicted to pain. You kept replaying them because you were trying to prove you weren't foolish. You were trying to prove your heart didn't misread everything. Because if those moments were real, then you weren't crazy for caring. You were just dealing with a man who can be real in a moment and still be unreliable over time. A man can look you in the eye and mean it, and still not be a man you can build with. Both things can be true at the same time. So when you catch yourself going back to the highlights, notice what you're actually doing. You're not missing him. You're missing certainty. You're missing the version of you that stopped guessing, the version of you that felt safe, even if it was only for a night. If the good parts were real, they would have shown up when it wasn't convenient. They would have shown up on a random Wednesday, in the way he handled a plan, in the way he answered a simple question. Because the pattern is not confusion. It's effort that comes in waves, not in a line. Right when you're about to detach, he gets sweet again, and your brain goes, "There he is." But the warm version of him isn't the missing piece. It's the part that keeps pulling you back. And the cold version isn't a mistake either. It's him, too. It's his comfort level. It's his limit. The good parts don't erase the pattern. They are part of the pattern. That's why the thumb line is so sharp. You missed the pattern because you were measuring him by his best moments, not by what your life felt like with him most days. Most days, you were waiting. Most days, you were guessing. Most days, you were holding back a text you shouldn't have to hold back. Most days, you were trying to be easy so you wouldn't lose him. That isn't love. That's you shrinking so the connection can survive. And the moment you stop romanticizing the highlights, something shifts. You stop needing him to admit anything. You stop needing one more warm night to confirm he cares. He may have cared in those good moments, but caring in a moment is not the same as choosing you in a way that holds. And once you accept that, you don't have to keep replaying the good parts anymore. You can let them be real, and still let them be not enough.